What brought me to this issue? I grew up in Columbus, non-political family, grew up in a Democrat family. My mom and dad were Reagan Democrats. After 25 years working for a manufacturer, my dad lost his job, lost his health care, and lost his pension. A pension that he thought he was going to get. After 25 years, gone. 50 years old, gone. It has an impact on your life. It has an impact on your family. And when I came to Congress, John Boehner knows this. One of the reasons why I went to the Education and Workforce Labor Committee was because of that issue, the jurisdiction over that issue. And I had the opportunity to be on 2 conferences. So I come at this from not just a philosophical point of view, but also a real life point of view, and the impact losing a pension can have on a father, on a family. And so my mom and dad didn't come here to America as immigrants for anything more than an opportunity. More than an opportunity. That's it. No guarantees or anything else. But if you sign up, you work 25 years, and you think you're going to have something for the rest of your life in terms of this pension, and suddenly it's gone because the company went bankrupt. Wow, what a tremendous impact. And so this bill is a bill that I'd have written differently if I were in charge. But let's remind all of us, there are nearly 80 more Democrats than Republicans in the House, 59 Democrats in the Senate, and a Democrat in the White House. And my role in this issue is to try to pull this legislation more toward the center. That's the reality, folks. That is the reality. Try to get this as far away from George Miller as possible in terms of the philosophy. Because you know what? This could go way left. It could. It could go way, way left. But thank goodness there are moderate Democrats who want to work with Republicans, and that means compromise. I don't get to write it like I'd like to. And rather than going into the specifics of the legislation, to kind of talk what John talked about, 2006, we never foresaw what happened in 2008. We just never knew it was going to happen. And so you have a very complicated issue. You have the single employer sides, you got the multi-employer sides. And my belief is the Pomeroy-Tiberi bill, which by the way, the single employer sides are a revenue raiser. So let's use the revenue raiser to help fix a problem on the multi-employer sides and pay for it within that concept. Now, the reality is, if we don't fix this, we can talk about theory all we want. If we don't fix this, based upon history, people will close their doors. Employers will close their doors. I have several in my district, small employers. Their employees will be dumped into the PBGC. The federal government, at some point in time, is going to take responsibility for these people in some sort of way, either through the PBGC or through something else. If we can keep employers employing their employees, giving them flexibility on both sides, the single employer and the multi-employer, they keep working, they keep paying taxes, give the employer as much flexibility as possible. That's a win-win. It's a win-win for taxpayers, quite frankly, and a win-win for the employers and the employees. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. If I were a dictator, would I write it different? Yeah, you bet. But we find ourselves in a difficult situation here. And it's a jobs bill, quite frankly. Let's keep people employed. And for the life of me, I don't understand why the Democrat leadership doesn't understand this. They have an opportunity for bipartisan support on a bill that will help people keep people employed. It's a bipartisan issue. Now, at the end of this process, quite frankly, from all the indications we see, we will not have the multi-employer issue addressed. Not this year. Doesn't appear that way. We'll address it somehow, sometime, some way. It will have to be addressed because people will lose their jobs. businesses will close their doors if we don't deal with this. But it appears at this point in time, the single employer issue will be dealt with. The leadership on the Democrat side, my prediction, I don't know anything, I'm not in the room, will use the revenue from the single employer side to pay for something else unrelated to pensions. Unrelated to pensions. And they'll do it sometime before the election. I'd like to thank Senator Isaacson for showing leadership in the Senate, because if he hadn't, the single employer side wouldn't even be dealt with. That's my prediction, if he hadn't stepped up. And stepping up, again, even in the Senate, to try to address an issue when we're in the deep minority isn't easy. Because there's some people philosophically will say, that's just not a good thing to do. But the reality today, ladies and gentlemen, is having come from a family and seen a dad who came here with nothing, came to America with nothing, didn't want anything other than an opportunity. Give me the rules, I will play by the rules. I will work by those rules. I don't want welfare. I don't want unemployment. Let me have a job. Tell me what the job's all about. At the beginning, the job is about you get this paid this much, you get this health care, and if you work 20 years, you get this pension. Well, my dad worked 25 years, and you know what? He didn't get that pension. So, let me just say in closing that at the end of this Congress, the issue of pension reform will not be done. My prediction. And if we, Democrats and Republicans, don't come together, this is another issue that will be determined by somebody other than us as policymakers. It's that important. It's a competitiveness issue. It's a taxpayer issue. It's an employer issue. It's an employee issue. And one that together we have to come together to solve. And I hope that there's a will to do that, to quite frankly protect taxpayers in the future. Because if we don't, the longer we wait, ultimately, as in past history, the longer we wait, the more difficult it will get, and the hole will be deeper, and the unemployed will be larger. So, thank you so much. Love to take questions, but I think I have to go vote. Thank you so much.